Here with you guys. Already quite a few people here. Thank you so much. You might have seen me at Matisse's channel just a moment ago. So thank you heaps for coming on this channel for this particular show. You're going to love it. You're honestly going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy it because I get to talk to you guys. I've already got a few callers lined up. So basically, guys, the theme of today's show is we want to discuss about the rivals, Sancho to Man United, apparently Rafael Varane to Man United as well, Jack Grealish most certainly to Man City. Talk about some of the managerial moves as well with Nunu, Espirito Santo to Spurs, Rafael Benitez to Everton. And I really want to see how you guys are feeling about all of this news that's going on. And then, obviously the lack of sort of activity within Chelsea. I want to hear what you guys have to say. We always talk about as Chelsea content makers from our perspective, but I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Already, as I said, quite a few people are here. Yupped up, thank you so much. Declared's here, Sutasan's here, Grant CFC's here, All Joe's here, and we've got Roll the Dice in the background as well. So I'm going to bring in Roll the Dice very soon and talk about this. So yeah, guys, check out the pinned tweet. You can join me today, and I really want to know what you, the fan base, the Chelsea fan base, are feeling about all of these moves. All right, let's get Roll the Dice in first of all. Roll the Dice, my man. How you doing? I'm
doing great. How you doing?
Not bad, my man. Not bad. Let's start the conversation first of all with Jadon Sancho moving to Man United, possibly even Rafael Varane now. It looks like that's done and dusted, but I kind of expected that as well. Jack Grealish, most certainly to City. I mean, how you feeling, Chelsea fan, looking at all of these activities and the rivals strengthening? I mean, does that make you sort of quiver a bit?
It doesn't. What it lets me know is that United and City are taking this transfer window and next season very seriously. That's what it tells me. And I do want to say United, especially for me, obviously I know City have bid for Kane, although their bid got rejected. But United getting Sancho and United getting Varane, which apparently has been confirmed. It's just medical and all of that.
Yeah,
that's a serious signing. And apparently they're now bidding for Camavinga. And these sort of players will make them title challenges. I think people forget they finished above us 2 seasons in a row, I think.
Yeah.
Was it 3? Yeah, they're not that far off. Yeah, they're not that far off. And we're still here talking about Adama Traore, when we just won the Champions League. For me personally, it doesn't make any sense to me. And we're talking about Bakayoko. It doesn't make me worried, but it just makes me question, like, do we have the same goals as those teams? Like, do we have the same goals, or do we just want to finish in the top 4? Because I think Tuchel, at the end of the day, he wanted Hakimi, he didn't get Hakimi. And for me, I'm tired of even saying, let's keep Livramento. If another team gets Livramento and they, manage to use him to the best of their ability, then what kind of target should we go for at this point? Because at this point, all we keep saying is Traore, Haaland, and give Bakayoko another chance. Is that the type of route you want to use, or we want to use, to win a Premier League title? In my opinion, I don't think it's going to work. But, I don't know. I don't know about you.
Yeah, man, look, Roll the Dice, you're right. I mean, it looks like these clubs, they're not messing around. Like, City are definitely making some moves, and pretty sure we're going to hear the Grealish one done. That's definitely in the bags for them. Kane, I'm sure they're working on it as well, just the way we're sort of working on our targets in regards to striker position. But Man United, do you know what I mean? Like, they're putting the marker down for next season. And, I'm not saying it's panic stations. You might have seen me in Matisse's channel. I'm definitely not panic stations as yet, but I hope that the club does the rightful in regards to Thomas Tuchel, because we've seen this sort of situation happen before where manager does well and the next season the transfer window doesn't go the way we wanted it to go, and then the season just ends up being abysmal. And before you know it, the manager's gone. Do you know what I mean? And we're in that merry-go-round sort of soccer, and I hope that never happens to Thomas Tuchel or any other managers down the track. But look, the caliber of targets, roll the dice, as you were saying, like the Haalands and the Hakimis, like these are complicated stuff. And I'm not saying don't go for it. They're the highest sort of players that you can desire, and I love that. But you need to have a quick plan B. So if Haaland's not happening, and if you've already got the indication it's not, let's move on to a Lukaku straight away. Let's get that done. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't be banking on that Haaland's going to happen, and then come August you don't even have Haaland, and now Lukaku's not keen either because he's well settled in Inter Milan. So, and then you're stuck. So, yeah, man, I hear you, bro, and the whole Hakimi thing as well, man. I mean, it's crazy. You're right. That would have been. A lot of people say that Adama Traore was the number one pick, but don't lie to me that Chelsea weren't interested about Hakimi.
That's what I mean. They wanted Hakimi. Hakimi was the number one. And the minute it didn't work out and they had PSGs getting him, all I see is, we didn't want him anyway. It's lies. You wanted him. Everyone wanted him. And for me personally, I wouldn't even lie, because I was saying I did want Livramento to stay, but I did want Hakimi as well. Like, I don't see why it should be one or the other. Livramento is not going to displace Hakimi. And for me, the way I saw Hakimi may be a bit different to most people. I just saw him because although he's a good right wing back, I know he's really, really fast. Like, he's one of the fastest players around. And I don't know, I just saw him as a right-hand-sided Davies for us. So I was really excited, like the way he could, combine with other players, and Havertz on the right, and maybe even Werner. I really do think Werner next season will pick it up. I don't think he's going to be as horrible as most people assume, but I think he'll pick it up next season. For me personally, I just think that we need to hurry up with a midfielder, honestly, because all the top teams are looking at midfielders right now, and they're grabbing the best ones on the market. And we're still staring and talking about Bakayoko. Like, he has to go. He shouldn't be here. Like, I don't know how many chances do we need to give this guy? He needs to go. He needs to go. I even saw that apparently the club tried to extend his contract or something like that.
And you know what? Apparently he doesn't want to stay either. He wants to go. Like, he doesn't feel the need. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he knows. He knows he shouldn't be here. We shouldn't even be talking about Traore. Like, just being honest, we just won the Champions League. And if I have to keep it real, with the targets we're talking about, did we really win the Champions League? Like, I have to double check, because how can you win a Champions League and you're talking about Traore? No disrespect, he's a good player, but you want Traore after winning the Champions League. You're not talking about, I mean, I get we have enough wingers, but I didn't hear nothing about top players like, as Sancho. We're still talking about Declan Rice. I don't want to see us spend 100 million on Declan Rice. I'm so sorry. I know the fan base is in love with him, but there's so many other DMs that I think are more comfortable on the ball. I think Tchouaméni's, a much better option with a cheaper price. I think Camavinga as well. I really do not want to see United get Camavinga. It will really hurt, because Camavinga and Pogba and Fernandes in a three-man midfield, I don't really know if we can really compare to that. Like, I'm not sure, because Gilmore's going out on loan, so we only have three midfielders: Kante, Kovacic, and Jorginho. And Kante's got his injury issues.
And you know what? Roll the dice. I know a lot of people. Look, I'm pretty sure you're probably in the same boat as well. Like, I'm not a massive, I don't rate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at all that much. I mean, I don't think he's a top class manager. But when you give a manager all of this firepower, do you know what I mean? A Sancho, a Rafael Varane, with all the other players that they have, it's not like they have a crap team. They've actually got a decent team. Do you know what I mean?
Very decent.
Fernandes is a very good player. Marcus Rashford, Cavani, the lot. Do you know what I mean? It's pretty good. Eventually, the individual talent, and Pogba as well, the individual talent together, it's going to end up clicking sooner or later. Do you know what 100%. I mean? And as you said, they've finished ahead of us twice in the last couple of seasons. Yeah, sure, Thomas Tuchel came in halfway through, might have been different, but we got to be a bit weary that we're not just hanging about. Before I let you go, roll the dice, just quickly in regards to Nuno and Rafael Benitez, are you at all phased about these sort of managerial appointments for these two clubs? I mean, do we get a little sort of worried about it, or nah? I mean, they're really just not capable of doing anything.
No. For me personally, I wouldn't be too worried. Like, I think we probably had more to worry about when Ancelotti was there. I think he probably could have taken that club, and kind of did have moments where he took that club to places where they didn't before, or they didn't get to in a long while, I should say.
Yeah.
I think Ancelotti's style of football really suited them as well, and the players he brought and left. I think they could have done something, but under Benitez, I don't think they'll do anything, spectacular or anything that would get in our way. And personally, I think we just need to focus in the transfer market and, hurry up and get players. I'm not even saying superstar players. I'm just saying players that need to complement the system.
Yeah, like strengthen the unit. Strengthen the unit. Do you know what I mean?
Literally, just 2-3 signings and back Tuchel, because as we're speaking about Benitez, I really don't want Tuchel to lead this club. Like, I think Tuchel can be that manager that can take this club to a whole new level. I've always seen Tuchel as a mix of Pep and Klopp, and I think he can really, set a foundation in this club for many years to come. So I think we should back him through difficult and good times. I think him winning the Champions League shouldn't be overlooked as, it was just a one-off thing. He really can do that. He took PSG to a final the season before. So, yeah, that's what I think personally.
No, 100%. Roll the dice. Thank you so much for your time. I'm bringing a few other fans in. A lot of lined up at the background. So thank you heaps for your time. Roll the dice.
No worries.
Thank you, my man. I'm going to bring in Victor, but before we do that, guys, smash the like button. Let's get the likes up to at least 40 likes. We've got nearly 40 people here. Shout out to my man Ibsy in the live chat as well. Thank you for coming along, my man. I will try and get to your question. I'm going to bring in Victor. Victor, how you doing?
I'm good.
Brilliant, my man. First of all, thank you so much, man. You're in that Matisse show as well in the live chat, so do appreciate you always, making sure that the live chat is moving smoothly. You're one of the mods taking care of it, so do appreciate that. But Victor, I want to ask you, because I want to hear from a fan's perspective. I mean, the way Man United's moving, Sancho deal, Varane looks like almost done. Roll the dice just a moment ago saying that they're perhaps going for Camavinga. Grealish to City. I mean, are you? And Arsenal seems like, even though their players are not, but they still seems like they're active in the transfer market. Are you getting a little bit sort of 50-50 at the moment with Chelsea, or how are you feeling? How's the feel at the moment?
I know right now Chelsea looks a bit crazy of how clubs are signing this, and clubs are signing world-class players, not just any players. Like Ben White is a good centre-back. Grealish is world-class. Kane's world-class. Sancho is amazing. I would have loved Sancho at Chelsea, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
But it looked like his mind was set at Man United, so nothing we could do there. I'm not worried. I just think it's just patience. I think throughout June, I was patient because I know the signings we're trying to get are extremely difficult. There's signings that would take a long time. Some teams might take a whole 2 years to get done, like a Haaland. Like getting Haaland this season, if we do it, that would be probably the biggest signing.
Sancho took two seasons. Do you know what I mean?
And Sancho is not even as much as Haaland. Yeah. And the fact that I think I understand that Chelsea are getting progressing, but not as quick as some fans would like it to be. Yeah, but as I have a feeling that Haaland will be a Chelsea player by next season.
Oh wow!
I have that feeling. I don't know why.
As in next season or before start of this season?
Start of this season. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I have that feeling that he would be a Chelsea player. And after Haaland, I think we also need to look at more areas like CDM. Like Billy Gilmore is an Norwich player, like it's a done deal. So we need a CDM to come in. Declan Rice, I've said about Declan Rice, I knew his mind was set at Chelsea. You can see from the England camp that the way him and Mason, they looked like they were the teammates like for the next 10 years. You could tell even him and Chilwell, and like you could tell that they had that special bond that going into Chelsea could really, really cause problems because that's already the chemistry done. There's no time for them to adapt because most of the players are English. so they all played with each other before. So
do you reckon all of that will happen though? Haaland and Declan Rice in the same window.
I'm paying 60 million for Declan Rice. So if we can get 60 for Declan Rice, that's not too bad. That's like 10 mil off the evaluation where I thought we could sign him for. 60 million is not horrible. I'm probably need to get him this window because next season will be much cheaper because he's not signing a new contract, is he?
Yeah.
So next season could be cheaper. So I think about getting this season. Just get Haaland, Rice, and probably I had a damage is 20 mil, 25. Like we've already lost on Hakimi. Like if you know you want strength, and damage could be a good squad player, come off the bench. Because against Wolves, when I saw him, when he came off the bench, he looked much better off the bench than starting. Like, when the team are tired, that player that has pace and power and just goes when you're already done and finished, that could really help us in the long run. So damage is not a horrible sign. It's not like I want him. It's just that what Tuchel wants, Tuchel gets for me. That's my opinion.
I mean, look, we'll talk about the Damachara because it's interesting that you brought that up, and I'll bring up another particular comment. But this one from Roll the Dice, you can't get Declan Rice for 60 million. I think I kind of believe that in the sense that I know Declan Rice is sent to West Ham, and it's not new news. He's done it before as well, that he doesn't want to sign a contract extension over there. But I think he's still contracted till 2024, so it's still got about 3 more seasons to go to finish up there. And West Ham really values him a lot. He's the club captain. They're in the Europa League. I just don't think how they bend over backwards for 60 million. Do you know what I mean? Like they literally think, like there's been quotes saying from David Moyes that this guy is £100 million player. Do you know what I mean? Like he's saying that he's 100 million. I don't know if they'll ever get that, but if Man United or whoever wants to do a bit more madness in this particular window, they could probably get him for 80 million. Do you know what I mean? So whether we get him for 60, it's the thing is, do Chelsea value him to be that much? I personally don't think Chelsea values him to be. If it's 60, perhaps they value him at that price. Any more than 60, I don't think Chelsea values him that much.
Yeah, anything more than 60, I think it's outrageous. But I don't think United. I think this could be the stop for United of getting top players because they didn't have enough money before. So I don't know where all this money came from. Maybe there was a deal or something. So I don't think United could.
But they're loaded though. They're one of the richest clubs in the world. Like they're literally loaded.
Not as rich as Roman. Like Roman is 10 times. I think 65. Maybe they can. I heard Matt Law saying 70. Like when it comes to 70, it could get really interesting. So I think 65 could be the evaluation for Declan Rice at the end of the season. And this news is literally the worst kept secret in football. He wanted to leave last like we knew he wanted to leave last season. Like it was I think his mind was so set at Chelsea last season, this season, that he could kick up a fuss going into next season. Because last season he said it like on the low, like, oh yeah, like Chelsea, yeah. Like if they come, I'm really up for it. But I think going into next season is like I want to go to Champions League team or top winning team, a team that wins trophies every season. I think that's where his mind is set up because his best mate is literally FaceTiming him with the Champions League medal, and he's just celebrating going to the Europa League. Like I think his mind is dead set in Chelsea. For me.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt Declan Rice is absolutely sold on the Chelsea project. Before we bring in more guests in, I just want to ask you a final question, Victor. If we don't, I mean, look, I'm pretty sure we're going to get a DM because that's why we've let Billy Gilmore go. But if we don't address the striker situation, how are you feeling at the start of the season for next one?
Oh, scared. We're not winning. We can just pray for top 4 and probably get as far as possible in the Champions League and probably an FA Cup. Because with no striker, with Jorginho as the top scorer last season, was shambolic. Like I can't go into next season without a world class striker. No, I don't mean like any striker. Like I'm not. I heard Edouard, and I'm like no. Like we need a 30 goal season striker because since we lost, we've never replaced.
We need a big timer. You're right. We need a big timer.
We've never replaced Diego Costa. Like since he left, that hole in the team is still there, and even. Man, with all these signings coming in, Grealish looks like he's done. Kane looks like maybe
probably City bound as well. Yeah,
probably next season. like United doing craziness, like already with a good squad United have, and Arsenal too look like they want to challenge for top 4 again next season with no European football. So that could be really interesting for them. So yeah, next season, no striker. I have low expectations for next season, but maybe they might can turn it around. I have no idea.
You're right, man. Striker is the most important one. Victor, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you can stick around in the live chat. I'm going to bring in another guest. Thank you heaps, my man.
Cheers.
All right, I'm going to bring in Grant. Before I do that, guys, let's smash the like button. Let's get the likes, at least 40 likes. If you're enjoying this, as I said, the pin message, if you want to join and share your opinions with me today as to how you're feeling with the rivals moving mad lately, especially Man United. Let me know how you feel. I'm going to bring in Grant. Grant, my man, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Not bad, my man. Not bad. I had a 1.5 hour stream at Matisse's channel. Now I'm over here. So the grind continues, my man. The grind continues. Grant, I was going to ask you, how you feeling about the rivals at the moment doing a bit of madness? Man United, obviously, with the Sancho deal and Varane, Rafa Varane looks like said and done. City with Grealish. How are you feeling about Chelsea? Are you a bit worried that where's our activities?
No, I'm not worried. The only rival we have right now is City, because we actually, as Chelsea fans, we're actually looking at this a different way. Yes, we finished below Man United 2 seasons, but we finished with a Champions League what they finished with. So now they have to straighten to come to compete with us, because we have to compete with City, because they are the one who won the Premier League last season. So I'm actually just watching the Euros right now and looking at the players that we really need, because last season we get players that nobody actually did get any players. So we're not rushing into to get any players right now, because we already know the players that we need. So I'm not panicking. Most of these Chelsea fans are panicking. Why we panicking? Tuchel is actually I think he's watching the Euro right now to see the top striker right now is in the Euro, because Haaland is not in the Euro. If we're not getting Haaland, he's watching the best striker right now to see if he could bring into his system. If you could look back at PSG, he didn't bring in a big striker. When they even got Icardi wasn't playing much. If you look back, it was the guy from Everton. I don't remember his name. That's the guy they bring in, and he was actually scoring.
Oh, Moise Kean. Moise Kean.
Yeah, Moise Kean, and he was scoring. So I think he's gonna bring in a good striker, and then for Adama Traore, I think he's gonna be a good player at Chelsea, as I said before, because to get Hakimi, and that wasn't gonna be good for us, because Hakimi is coming from a slower league, and he's gonna need time, and then the Chelsea fans gonna be on his back, said he's not good, just like the guy who went to Tottenham, and we got Chilwell, regular, and we were saying the same thing. We should get him instead of Chilwell, and look at it now. It's the other way around.
It's a good point.
We need to stop doing this to ourselves. If we just win the Champions League, why are we even mentioning youth players to come into the team now? We need to relax and let Tuchel do his job and stop forcing, because we're not the one who's buying the players. Because if it's up to us, every player would be at Chelsea.
Yeah, absolutely. How would you feel though, Grant, if we don't get, like, as I said, DM is going to happen because we let go of Billy Gilmour, so something will happen there. How would you feel if we don't address a striker position at all in this season? I mean, we're going for either Haaland or Lukaku. If none of them really happen, are you going to be still okay next season with what you've said so far, that we shouldn't be worried, the rivals need to catch up to us?
It's all depend on the DM that we get, because if we could use Havertz to play a false nine, just like what City did when they have their strikers. And if you look at it, Tuchel is actually a tactical, just like Pep. So if we don't get a striker, we would use Havertz, and it all depends on the midfielder that we get. If we couldn't have a midfielder, would click.
And you're okay with using Havertz as a false nine for the whole season?
Until January.
Right,
I'll go with him until January. And then from there, it all depends on where we are in the league. If we actually compete in if we're in third or second, and then we need a striker now to go at first, then I would go from there. And then Haaland I think Haaland would be much more cheaper now.
Fair enough, my man. Fair enough. Grant, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to bring in more callers in, but yeah, hopefully you can stick around in the live chat. Thank you, my man.
Yeah, well, okay.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to bring in the next guest, which is Phantom of many topics. It's going to be very interesting to talk to this particular individual. Always a great supporter. But I've got Umair here saying, how do we call in? Umair, just check out the pinned message. That's how you can check that out. That's how you can call us in. So yeah, check out the pinned message. But yeah, smash the like button as well, guys. We've got nearly 50 people. Let's get the likes up to at least 50. Phantom of many topics. How you doing?
Hello. Good to talk to you for the first time. I know your time is valuable, so I'll just say what I need to say quickly. First of all, I'm a Chelsea fan, but I'm also a Dortmund fan. So I have a very unique perspective on this. Okay, the price on Erling Haaland just went up. Okay, because of the Sancho thing that they don't want to be. They earned Champions League last year. So they're not, they're in kind of a quandary, and you've already discussed that with what's his face, Eunice and
Matisse.
And Matisse. So I'm not going to go over that. I'm just going to say one thing that you guys didn't consider, but Monstar has considered, and I've considered that there was a 7-game gap that Erling Haaland did not score, and that involved playing Man City in that Champions League game. Now, if you watch that Champions League game against Man City, then he is not a $150 million anything because he didn't come close to scoring. You could say, well, he didn't get service, blah, blah, but he might not get the kind of service that he wants at Chelsea either against Man City. So if he's not going to be creative against Man City on his own, then he isn't the $150 million guy that, this is something we have to consider. I mean, Timo Werner, Havertz, they both struggled when they come here, okay? And they were both 20-goal scorers each in that league too. So there's some sort of a discount, at going on in the Bundesliga. So we have to consider that. And based upon all that other drama with Mino and, the wage structure and the everything else, and plus now the inflated, because Dortmund isn't going to drop their price now. Because they have a reason not to drop their price. I don't think that we should go after Erling Haaland. I think that the Lukaku deal is a better deal. The price is better. He's already familiar with Premier League. And what do you think on that, sir? What do you think?
Yeah, look, do you know what, Phantom, on many topics, it's funny you've said that. I've actually used to tweet that a lot previously when the whole Haaland news came into fruition. I might not have talked enough in the recent stream, but you're absolutely right. I used to say many times before that let's not get too gassed about Erling Haaland because I want to see how he plays in the Premier League because the Premier League is not the same as the Bundesliga or not where he used to be before. I think Salzburg in the Austrian league or no, something like that. I think it must have been the Austrian league, Salzburg. But I've said it. I wanted to see him play against City. And you're right, he was still okay-ish, but it's not like he had his way with Manchester City.
Not at all.
I
I watched the whole game. He didn't come close to scoring, not even once.
Exactly. So it's not going to be as straightforward for him in the Premier League. We need to understand that. And that's why I was entertaining the Lukaku deal a lot more because Lukaku's got that Premier League experience. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
be costing. I saw some reports. He's going to be costing around 69 to 70 million euros.
Yes, that's a good price. That's a good
price, and he's Premier League proven. As I said, he loves Chelsea. That's the other factor with Haaland. I'm not really sure whether he actually wants Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
Think if he wants Chelsea, it's only because we won the Champions League. If we didn't win, I mean, if we dropped out, 2 stages earlier, then he wouldn't want Chelsea. So, and as far as Mino Raiola, I mean, that just opens up an entire different can of worms because of the wage structure thing and everything else, and and then what the heck is Haaland's dad getting a cut? I mean, since when does Mason Mount's dad get a cut? I mean, where does this come in? I get it where the agent wants a cut. Okay, I get it if the agent wants a bigger cut. But why should the dad of a ball player get a cut? That's weird.
You know what? This is what happens, man. When you got a superstar like Erling Haaland, everyone wants a bit of it. I'm surprised that Haaland's other family members, the cousins and uncles, are not coming in and taking a bit of a chip. But before I let you go, Phantom, off many topics, I want to ask you about the managerial choices. Obviously, Nuno Espirito Santo to Spurs, Rafa Benitez to Everton. I mean, does that bother you one bit? Like, are you worried that these couple of clubs could do something?
Okay, so you guys have been a forever Chelsea fan or whatever. I signed up in 2018, and I'm just kind of learning this entire, situation. And I have loyalty to no one, and that includes Frank Lampard. And I think Frank Lampard is a rookie manager, and good luck to him at what do you call it? What's that? Crystal Palace, right? That's where he's going. Yeah. So, I have loyalty to no one. Kind of like Matisse, he said he doesn't do it on based upon emotion. I mean, I'm just I'm the same way. Those guys, they don't really mean anything to me. I am really impressed with our Thomas Tuchel. He seems to have a big carrot and a big stick. So, that's the perfect balance. I thank you for giving me this much time. I really do appreciate your show. There's other people who, you super chat them and they don't even read it. Or they say that you didn't super chat them. And I won't name names, but, sometimes that can create some sort of animosity, especially if you were a regular super chatter of that person for the entire year and gave him several $100, and then he said you didn't super chat him over a $2 super chat. So I'm not naming names. I'm not saying who it was, but so you're it's a zero-sum game. You'll get a lot more super chats from me because I'm no longer super chatting that person.
Thank you so much, Mama. As I said, look, I'm not one who advocates or promotes super chat. It's totally up to the fan base and the viewers to do that. If you want to support the channel, it literally goes back to the channel where I've got some really big plans for next season where I want to send some of the people that actually come to this channel to go to Stamford Bridge and watch the match, and we can do live situations, live broadcasts from there. And this is where the money is really going to go, where I'm going to actually sponsor them to go to the matches and watch it so that we can do the live stream from there.
I do have a question regarding that. Is it very possible, because I might be coming to London in September or October. I'm from the United States of America. How I know that all the Stamford Bridge games are sold out, but how likely is it for me to buy a scalper ticket? Look,
do
they exist, or
they do? They definitely do exist, and I know quite a lot of people from London that come to my channel as well in Twitter. So I'm more than happy to reach out to them and see if they can help you out. And if you need to get a ticket to go and check that, I'm more than happy to sponsor you, my man, because you've always supported this channel. So that one will be on me for sure.
I definitely will continue to support channels that A, read my super chats, and B, don't accuse me of not super chatting. So I don't want to get into that too much with your show because that's not fair to you. But that's why I'm not super chatting someone that is within your sphere of influence, put it that way. Okay.
Thank you so much,
for your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. I'm going to bring in Declared. We've got more than 50 people. Please smash the like button. Let's get the likes to at least 50. I want to quickly address this before I go to Declared. Adrian is saying, Miz, calm down. I think Chelsea will monitor Haaland and Lukaku's situation equally. They will work as hard as he can on Haaland, then go to Lukaku. Look, man, I'm calm. I want the Haaland deal to happen. I'm just trying to be realistic at the same time as well. Look, I'm not someone who doesn't want the Haaland thing to not happen. I 100% want it to happen. He's the number one choice. He will make our team so much better. But I'm just thinking that, is it really going to happen? I don't want to build myself up to believing, because I really thought Hakimi was going to happen, and then it never happened. So I just want to stay calm about it. And that's my stance at the moment. But yeah, I'm more than happy for Haaland to happen before Lukaku, for sure. But Lukaku is probably the one that could happen a lot easier. All right, let's get Declared in. Declared, my man, how you doing?
What's going on, man?
It's another day, another stream, my man.
I know. Big up to chat too. They've always been good.
Yeah, man. Big up to the chat. Honestly, they're fantastic all the time, man. Declared, I want to ask you, how you feel? I know you're always calm and you're suave and you bring that swagger and you're always saying that, we're the European champions, which we are. We know what we are. But I want to ask you, when you see all these transfer market activities happening elsewhere, like in Man United, Man City's probably going to get Grealish, whether they get Kane, I'm pretty certain they probably will break the bank to get Kane. How are you feeling at the moment about Chelsea? Are you a little bit on the edge, or you're okay that, no, you know what, our people will do the job?
Yeah, well, that is probably the last thing you just said there. Our people will do the job. We've had a history of great business. You know what I mean? And even like I think some of you talked about with Victor before too. People have this anxiety. Like I had a deja vu moment right then when you talk about Rice. About Ben. Everyone said the same things about Ben Chilwell, and they wanted Reguilon. Exactly the same way the Rice conversation has been talked now. Right? It was the same. Rice isn't going to go for 100 mil. I can guarantee you that he's rejected
and looks like
offers.
Rice doesn't want it to go to 100 mil either. Like, he'll be upset if the club does something like that.
Yeah, because he knows the club will be pricing him out. So he's rejected 2 contract offers. We've been grooming him for a long time, probably longer than the Sancho thing's been going on, right? So I think that he will end up in Chelsea, whether it's this season or next season. But that's still part of the deal. If we can get him in now, West Ham might need the money. We don't know. You know what I mean? They can bolster many positions, but 100 mil is out of reach. But 60 does sound, if his price was 60, I think everyone would change it.
Reasonable. Do you know what?
It is reasonable.
60 is reasonable.
He's 22 years old, English. You know what I mean? It does sound reasonable. Like, we got Chilwell for 50, and everyone said the same things about Leicester City as well. Oh, they're hard. They're going to get their money. So that's how the conversation goes. So, end of the day, a lot of our deals are like that. You know what I mean? Even the Haaland deal, we're talking about big bucks here.
Yeah.
And even Dortmund, people said Dortmund that they get their money. Look what they did with Sancho and Man United last season. If you don't hit their the money they want, the asking price, they're not going to sell. But what happened now is they got Sancho for 90 mil instead of the 100.
Yeah.
So in the same manner, they know they're going to lose a lot of money on Haaland next season. So there is that pressure. And I think it's just going to be a little bit of a merry-go-round, you know what I mean? Because there's Kane, there's Grealish. Once these start happening, now Sancho was the first one. I think a lot of the transfers might happen. They might fall in place.
Yeah.
So maybe Sancho was the first domino to fall and the rest to follow.
Yeah, man. Look, I would love it to rest to follow, but I mean, do you really see where? I mean, I've been sort of thinking, if we're going to have a discussion, like a wholesome discussion, right? I've just been thinking that, is Dortmund in a situation where they can lose 2 megastars like that, like a Sancho and a Haaland? I mean, they do still need to run a club, right? I mean, can they just bring in whoever else and just still manage to come top 4 in the Bundesliga? I mean, they're not going to win the Bundesliga. Like, Bayern Munich's got that done and dusted for like last 10 years. I'm pretty sure they're going to continue with that. But they could possibly miss out on a top 4. It's not like after Bayern Munich, Dortmund is just a shoo-in. There's Leipzig. There are other clubs as well, by Leverkusen. So it's not like top four is certain. And a club like Dortmund cannot afford to, I feel like, lose a top four. Like, do you feel that they will want to, lose two megastars like that?
I get exactly what you mean, but a lot of people forget is that Dortmund, regardless, when they, even when they're really close to catching up to Bayern, whatever position they used to be in, is that they've always been a selling club.
Yeah, true.
They've always been a selling club, so it's almost normal.
Like,
for players
I see what you
out.
mean. Like, they're either going to lose Haaland this season or they're going to lose him next season. Either way, you're going to lose him.
But every time they lose players, right, they bring in great talent, and it's their business model. So they're more used to selling players than all these other clubs that we're talking about. More than Inter. Like, everyone says Inter's in a bad position, but Inter just won the Serie A and want to keep competing. So if we had to look at something like whether Inter want to lose Lukaku and in a bad financial position, Dortmund in a good financial position and business sense, right? They'll sell Haaland, where Inter would take a debt hit just to be competitive because they're in the Champions League and they've got more to play for. Where Dortmund are so used to selling, right? That we'll sell and we'll bring more talent in to sell again in the future. And they've been so successful doing this over how many years? So I feel that they're more willing. They'll be more willing to sell than like someone like Inter.
No, for
Lukaku, even though everyone says that deal will be easier, but when you look at it in that sense, and the two clubs and what they represent and how they're going into next season, even though they lost Sancho, they still got great players. They'll bring in great players, and they still got great players there.
Yeah, Marco Reus is still there. Rafael Guerrero is still there. Thorgan Hazard. Like, it's a decent team. I get what you mean. Before I let you go, Declared. First of all, shout out to Phantom of Many Topics. Thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Thank you so much for letting me come on today. Look, man, I love doing this with the fan base. Really want to, because we spend all our time talking to you guys. I love bringing you guys in and hearing from you guys as well, which is just as, if not even more entertaining, and I'll get to learn from you guys. But Declare, last question before I let you go, because I've got a lot of people still lined up. With Man United getting Sancho and now with Rafael Varane, obviously they still have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I've already said that I don't really rate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but do you take them a little bit more seriously now with these sort of signing? Like, even with Ole, let's be honest, they finished ahead of us twice in a row now in the last couple of seasons. Should we be a bit worried about this with Man United?
I think equal to us, Man United, were equal on the rebuild, if that makes sense. They've got great young talent too. So remember when I talk about the next 3-4 years, is that I can see Man United being there with us than the other teams that have to rebuild in the cycle.
Yeah.
So we should be worried, but I still don't rate Solskjaer. So I think if it came to some finals and this and that, I think he'll fall short tactically wise. But they're still going to play. They're the same type of football. I still think he might get found out, and the only way Man United win is talent. Is a load of talent. They got abundance
just
of
a
talent.
bunch of individuals. Just a bunch of individuals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they got so much. They got such a stacked squad at the moment. Like, I used to ask, where does Sancho go in? Who misses out for Sancho?
I think Greenwood. I think it's Greenwood.
And Greenwood's a crazy talent. You know what I mean?
Probably their best winger at the moment. Probably just a bit ahead of Rashford in terms of form for the time being.
Yeah, so something's got to give. That could cause disharmony as well. Maybe Solskjaer can't handle it.
True.
I'd love for Chelsea to go in for like Greenwood or something, even though he's a Man United player. Like, if they just to test the waters.
Greenwood's a very good player, man. I think Greenwood is a very, very good player.
But I don't think they realised, like, they didn't really need Sancho. Sancho's like more of a fan, I think. Service. Maybe they needed other positions.
I think it's driven by the fan. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just to make the fans happy, because Man United being people against the fans are against the owners, and just to make them happy, I guess. But that's how I kind of see it. So that could be a downfall. Maybe there could be a disharmony. Too many players want game time.
Look at Tomori. We couldn't keep him. Do you know what I mean? Like, he had to go. So, and soon we're probably going to see few more players that are going to be starved of time, and they're going to end up going. It is all Tino Livramento. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think it was Lampard's downfall to keep a dressing room happy like that. We were stacked with all this talent, and he kept his trusted players, and then he fell on his sword on the way, and that could happen to Solskjaer next season.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of Man United fans do say this, that if he fails one more season with the caliber of players that are coming in Man United, that's probably be curtains for Solskjaer. But my man, Declan, thank you so much for your time. I mean, honestly, I love it. I love seeing you and hope to see you continuously in the future.
You will, miss. Thanks again. I love coming here.
Take care, my man. Thank you.
Yeah, mate.
All right, I'm going to get in Jake next up. I love talking to Jake. It's going to be an absolute bore, so stick around for that. We've got over 70, almost 75 people. Guys, let's smash the like buttons. Get the likes up to at least 70 likes if you're enjoying this. Let's get Jake on the show. Jake, my man, how you doing?
How you doing, Miz? Great to be here. Great to be here.
Bro, I'm buzzing to talk to you, man, because I remember the last time we chatted. It was awesome. So I'm so thankful to have you back on the channel again. I want to start with this particular comment here from Roll the Dice, which is quite interesting. It's a nice starting point. Miz, would you break the wage structure for Haaland? I want to ask that to you, Jake. What do you think?
I think we absolutely shouldn't. I think we're going to get Haaland. But regarding the aspect or the debate of whether or not Dortmund should get rid of two of their stars, I think that's 100% not a reason why they wouldn't do so. I mean, Declare just mentioned they're a selling club, of course, but I think they had so I think either they have the buyback clause on Isak. Otherwise, I think Tammy is a very logical option for them. Otherwise, they have their Sancho replacement already. But I also think that ties into Haaland. You know, Daniel Malen.
But by the way, who is their Sancho replacement? Have you already heard something from?
Yeah, this guy Daniel Malen. He was on the Netherlands team. I think he plays for PSV. He's like shorter. Yeah, he's solid.
Is he any good?
Yeah, very elusive, like a chill.
Is he going to be the next? Is he going to be the next big sell for Dortmund?
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if like right now if he's going to mold into that type of player, but he's mad young. He's like 21.
Man, how did they do this, man?
Yeah,
how does Dortmund
he's an Arsenal reject too. Like supposedly blew up after he left Arsenal. It's crazy. Crazy.
Wow.
I was looking into it. Yeah. But
yeah, continue, my man.
It's just like regarding Haaland too, and just the obviously money isn't the issue, so like we can't like be too stressed out. I mean, thank God, throw it up, but just like I'd love to get Rice because I'm a big fan of how like everything looks on paper, but based on the price tag, like obviously, I mean, especially what West Ham want for him, we don't know if that's possible. But regarding Rice and how that plays into Haaland, though, I guess obviously we're spending over 100 million on Haaland, like 80 million on Rice would make it over 200. That's what we spent last summer. I think not buying Rice, if anything, helps us because I'm a huge Chilwell guy. Like, thank God Declare mentioned like how we were able to get the price drop for Chilwell. Thank God. But besides the point, I'm like looking at that left back spot because I want Alonso and I love Emerson, but I want Alonso and Emerson out. That means we need a second guy to come in. Like I would have loved Bertrand from Leicester. We also need a backup keeper. So like not spending that much money on Rice, we can definitely fill the other holes that we need to around the pitch. But regarding another DM, you mentioned him, I think, in one of your recent episodes the other day. Like Tremeni. Thank God those agent talks are picking up. I didn't look into that, but thank God that guy's a baller.
Do you rate him? Yeah, you rate Tremeni?
Absolutely. Watched my first montage the other day. Didn't know much on him, and it just made sense. Like let's get on him before exactly like next summer he's gonna blow up. It's like once he gets another season under his belt, he's just gonna blow up. So.
Hey, I want to ask you though, right? The whole Haaland thing, just a different angle. I know you said like, who cares about the wage structure, this, that. I mean, it will matter a little bit in the sense that he's going to demand a lot of money. And then you have all our other players like Mason and Kai Havertz. They may start looking up and going, well, what did Mr. Haaland do to earn that level of money for Chelsea Football Club? And then you might have already seen, we had Phantom of Many Topics saying that, Haaland went through a bit of a phase last season, 7 games where he didn't score. And one of the games was Man City, where, let's be honest, Man City took care of him. And in the Premier League, it's not going to be like in the Bundesliga where he can just run amok and just score whenever he feels like. I'm not putting anything against Haaland. I think he's a superb talent. But Jake, does that worry you that we're bringing him with that much money? Does it dishearten the harmony in the team in terms of the wages? Because each of these players, they talk about it. And then if Haaland doesn't really kick on in the Premier League, what's your thoughts?
Absolutely, it's a great question. And I honestly, I'm going to tie this into another aspect of debate. It's just like, I don't like, obviously overpaying someone it's not good bottom line, but if he deserves it, if he's the hottest property in the world, yeah, it's totally fine. And make audibles, make moves around that, because if you have to, because we cannot work, like, we cannot be paranoid about Haaland coming here and not performing.
Sure.
We can play the what if game for any player you want. I thought it was funny. Someone mentioned that, like, if it was up to the fans, like, we would sign everyone. Like, I was dying on that. I saw you dying on that. Like, if we brought in everyone, we can't worry about everyone underperforming too. It's like, it's just like Haaland, like he's under, like, he's the hottest. Like I just said, he's the hottest property on the market. If Chelsea want to set themselves up in the best possible way, why not get the hottest property in the market? It's like, if we signed an Isak, you're telling me Isak setting us up better for success opposed to Haaland? It's like, no matter what the wages are, like you know what I mean? Like, it's just.
I completely get you. Like, he is the creme de la creme at the moment, and if you ever have the opportunity, then you try and get that particular player. You know, and I'm sure, you know, he's young. Thomas Tuchel can mold him and make him into a team member with the rest of the youngsters that we have. You know, but you should always be weary as well that there could be that other side as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's a fine balance. At the end of the day, as Matisse said when we were in his channel, Thomas Tuchel needs to realize that he is the number one individual in the club. It's not like any other player that becomes the number one sort of, you know, the person in the club. We need to ensure that Thomas Tuchel is the number one individual and the buck stops at him. He is the one that we, you know, look at in terms of what magical things can happen in the club, and we don't worry about XYZ individual to drag us. Do you know what I'm trying to say, I suppose, Jake?
Absolutely. And it's just like, we just got. I trust Chelsea to make the right thing, because I mean, make the right moves. It's just like, there's no need to panic. Like I was just diving into like us being paranoid about like Haaland messing up potentially, but if anything, like, just tying this back to the American sports, you follow the NFL any shot?
I don't really follow NFL, but yeah, I know the kind of stuff that's going on there. Yeah.
So like the Patriots, of course.
Yeah, I know the Patriots are the thing.
Yeah, so Tom Brady like has been there for like 15 years, right? He left like 2 years ago.
He's like the MVP, isn't he?
He's actually the GOAT. He's pretty much the Messier Ronaldo for NFL. But he leaves like 2 seasons ago. He goes to a new team and they win the whole thing with the new team. But besides the point, the Patriots are like scratching their heads and like, what do we do? Brady just left us, like the legend, and we got to rebuild the whole team. They pulled the Chelsea. They spent $200 million in the offseason on like all these star players. But that I looked at that at Chelsea and I was like, they literally just did the Chelsea, like literally same exact thing. I'm like, we just did that last season. But it's like, I think there's levels. Like we were bantering on Twitter, like United, they don't get out like managers when they don't meet success. That's why it's still. It's like we're gonna beat, like, that was slight work for us spending I'm not trying to brag about us.
Jake, I think we might have lost you, bro. You there, Jake?
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, now we can. We lost you in the middle.
Oh, but yeah, pretty much. Like, I just think I think there's levels. There's levels between Chelsea and other clubs, and there's levels within Chelsea. Like, the levels within Chelsea, we just spent $200 million last year, and we're gonna break that. Like I just said, like, I think we're gonna get Haaland, but with or without Rice, we're gonna strengthen other positions. It's all good, obviously. Just got to keep our head on the swivel. Everything will fall into place. I don't know if it was you that mentioned it or I saw someone else mention it on Twitter, but I think it was you actually. We got like 6 deals done in like the last 4 weeks or something, maybe last summer.
Yeah,
But
last summer. Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, if it took that long last summer, I mean, we just stay composed. We got it. Like, another thing, Miz, real quick.
Yeah, go on, man.
I talked about the golden age, or we're in a golden age, right? Straight up, we're in a golden age, right?
We are in the golden era.
We're gonna become the next, like, obviously, like Real Madrid, Barcelona, but isn't it like when we were growing up, like Barcelona ruled the world, or like Real Madrid ruled the world at the time? Since we have this time, we're staring at this opportunity that we could dominate soccer in whatever means for the next 5 years up to a decade. We can literally cement we can up our, like, reputation doesn't mean anything, but we can do that in the process. You know what I mean? Like, we can make ourselves even more prestigious than we are now. It's like, it starts with the Club World Cup, I guess, bro. But yes, sir, bro. Yes, sir.
100. I love the passion you have, Jake, man. Honestly, I love talking to you. Look, Jake, I gotta let you go because I've got a few more fans in the background. I hope to see you again, Jake. Honestly.
All love, man. Be good. Yes, sir.
Take care. All right, I'm gonna bring in Father. Father, how you doing, my man?
All right, back again.
I love it. Before I start talking to Father, we've got nearly 100 people logged in, guys. Please smash the like button and get the likes up to at least 100. And then, as I said, always helps out the channel, helps out the video. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers. So if you're here for the first time, subscribe as well. All right, Father, my man. I mean, are you getting a little bit on the edge with how our rivals are moving? Most likely Grealish to City. We'll probably, look, Rafa Varane apparently is almost done. Sancho, we've already seen that's done. Are you on the edge? How you feeling?
I'm a bit philosophical, I would say.
Philosophical, I like that.
I just barely woke up, honestly. I've been hearing you lot, like, for the last couple of minutes about our transfer. It doesn't make our progress yet, about Declan Rice, the deal in that doesn't make any sense in that, because people are writing a lot about Jorginho and Kante. And not to mention also, I think we as fans here, we can get into that false hype because of the Euros and Declan Rice. You can say there's an argument that he has a good Euro so far, but it doesn't tell us how the bigger picture form looks like, But yeah, man.
By the way, I want to ask you, Father. I want to quickly just ask you, how much do you believe that Thomas Tuchel, his number one target in the DM is Declan Rice? Like, do you feel that is, like, does that make sense to you?
For me, it doesn't make any sense, miss. That's the issue for me, because I would love to stick with Jorginho and Kante. They're both perfect, and Jorginho's, for me, even though a lot of people have been slating him, questioning him in the past, and that he's been integral for us this season. Not only the fact that he's also a Champions League winner, but he's okay. Let's just say, like, he's not our main term, but at the moment, let's just appreciate the greatness of Jorginho while we can, because I think he can be that kind of player, that can take us to maybe in the 2 years' time to become, one of the best teams in Europe right now. And I'm not really in terms of Declan Rice thing, like I'm a bit in the edge though, because I'm not trusting that how Tuchel going to do with the way that he's going to do with Declan Rice thing. But you know what? As long as he's the manager, as long as he knows what he's doing, let's just back it. Let's just back Tuchel and see where it takes us.
Yeah, man, 100%. Look, this is what I said. I mean, I don't mind if Declan Rice comes in, because he's still a very good player. He still has a few more things to develop, and I'm pretty sure Thomas Tuchel will get the best out of him. I just get upset when others absolutely shut down any other sort of options as opposed to Declan Rice. That's when I get a bit annoyed that there are other players that can fit in that particular position. Like, for example, Haaland. Like, there's not that many strikers in that caliber of talent like Haaland. Like, you could probably say Lukaku is a good good backup to Haaland because Lukaku is fantastic as well, Harry Kane as well. But with Declan Rice, I don't think he's the Haaland of that position. Do you know what I mean? There's literally other players that can seriously do a very good job. That's where I get a bit annoyed. But as you said, if Tuchel wants Declan Rice, I've got no issues. At the end of the day, Tuchel needs to get who he needs to get. But that doesn't mean that we stop having a discussion. So, Father, before I let you go, I do want to ask you the managerial, moves that have happened recently. Nuno Espirito Santo and Rafael Benitez. I think it's done as well for Everton. Does this news at all bother you? Are you worried what they're going to be able to do? I mean, Rafael Benitez is not a bad manager. Everton, not really a bad team.
I'm not really keen on how the other teams move in the market, especially changing managers in that, because for the sake of the banter, we would like to keep just to keep the banter about when they not signing the manager. But really, could I care a lot about these club changing managers? Not really. Do I think that they're gonna take their club to the European spot next season? Maybe not, and you never know next season, in it. So, because I think next season's going to be an interesting one, and apparently it's going to be fans coming back to the stadium. We don't know how much of an effect with fans in that stadium as well. And with Tottenham or Everton, good luck to you guys next season. I hope I just hope the best of you guys, but we can care less about you lot.
I love it, man, Father. Thank you so much. Honestly, love having you on the channel. I hope to see you again. Thank you heaps, Father.
Yeah, appreciate it. You too.
Take care, my man. Take care. I'm going to bring in my man, Andrew. It's been a while. How you doing?
Yeah, good, miss. How are you?
Good, my man. Good. First of all, we've got nearly 120 people live. Let's get the likes up to at least 100, please. Let's do that. I saw another comment here, Nipun. I don't know if you're still here. You still want the link. My man, I just took it out because we've been streaming for nearly an hour and a bit. So after Andrew, I've got Omer in the background. And after that, that's it. I'm going to go to bed. It's 11:03 p.m. in Sydney. So I'm going to hit the sack straight after this. So Nipun, I wish you'd come a bit earlier and I would have had you in the channel. But do look out for the next one for sure. Andrew, Rafael Varane looks like almost done. Sancho almost done. Grealish to City. I mean, the way rivals are moving, is that sort of like a little bit, you're on the edge that, man, we better be making some moves this window or else these guys are probably a bit ahead of us, especially City with Grealish. City were already strong. Like, they've probably got Grealish done and dusted very soon. Yeah. I mean, Grealish has gone mad. Apparently, he's deleting all his past tweets about City. So I don't know whether how much of it's true, but, some of these people, they know these sort of information. So how are you feeling at the moment, Andrew, man?
I can understand Chelsea fans' frustration given what happened last year, where we had a lot of transfers, and also if you remember last time, I know we had the Euros now, but we also had football non-stop for 3 days, so it took people's mind off it.
Mad, it was mad.
Exactly. Thank you. So I think that sort of helps as well. You know as well as I know, we are very secretive. Yeah. Which is why we sometimes get probably these weird reports that come out about us, about a player or something like that to make the time pass. Obviously, Matt Law this week leaked a lot of stuff or shared a lot of stuff. When it comes to the players, I don't think we're ever in for any of those players, like Sancho. I mean, I would have loved to been in for Sancho. I don't know why we didn't think we couldn't go and get Sancho. Varane, maybe they have looked at Varane and gone, is he any better than, say, a Christensen, a Rudiger, something like that? It's more important for us to tie Rudiger down to a new 3-year extension than to say pay 60 million euros for Varane or something like that. Well, who's young? Grealish. I don't think we're ever in for Grealish. People forget. He's turning 26 this year, which sounds young, but how football over the recent years, the age links lower and lower. The players start now. So what?
Yeah, like 26, 27, 28 is, and 29 maybe. Like literally the next 4 years is the most important
I
ones.
think City are strengthening an area they were already strengthened in, which is a bit weird because obviously you have Phil Foden that went on the left there last season. Where they're going to play him now? You know, or is really just going to go? Oh, they're going to play the false nine again. Means and not go for a striker because Harry Kane is out of reach because it's Levy, and you know they don't really spend that much. But I can understand Chelsea's frustration. I understand that. I think the frustration was heightened given the links to Hakimi over the last couple of weeks, and people are saying we put in a bid, we haven't put in a bid, we were speaking to this, we were speaking to that. I don't think Hakimi was on anyone's radar until they were maybe tipped off a bit that he was going to be sold. You know, I will say this: I think if we get Haaland, I don't think anyone will care who else we sign.
That's the number one target. That's the number one target.
If it goes, if I was Chelsea, I'd be smart. If I get Haaland, I announce Haaland first before I announce, say, Adama Traore. Do you know what I mean? Just for PR.
Maybe don't even announce Adama Traore.
Oh yeah, you go. Oh, and we signed Adama Traore like that. Like that. If the fans see Adama Traore announced first, we get him before Haaland, and this is not fair on Adama Traore, but I think most of the fans won't react positively, not because they may not rate Traore, but because they're all focused on Haaland.
Yeah.
Declan Rice. If you buy Declan Rice for 60 million, you know Tuchel's going to be pressured to start him every week because he's worth that much.
I mean, let's face it. You're not buying Declan Rice for 60 million to be a bench player.
No, exactly, yeah, or to like be in the defence or anything like that. Like Frank Lampard wanted to play him in defence. I think. Listen, I personally, he's not my number one choice, and even for the price at 60 million, but. If the club want him, you back it, and then you back the player when he's in the blue shirt, but you do reserve the right to criticise him if he doesn't play well, and more so with Rice because he's actually played in the Premier League. So there should be no adjustment time, just adjustment with better players. So he should actually get better playing with Kante or Jorginho and Kovacic.
Do you see both Haaland and Rice happening in the same window? Like that's big money tickets.
I don't see the club spending that much on two players. I see them going for a cheaper option in Tchouaméni because yesterday's reported that Czech's really
keen on him
for that, and Fabregas is rated him. Fabregas is I read a report yesterday, but I don't believe it. But you know what I mean. It might. Be, I don't believe it. I read a report that Fabregas after retiring is anchoring for a job at Chelsea. Like,
oh wow!
Maybe it's a scout or something like that. But as part of the team or something like that. But Fabregas really rates him. And Fabregas obviously is one of the best footballers we've ever had play for our club and in the world. Yeah. And then did you discuss the Ramos links? Apparently we were offering a contract. I mean, not $300,000 a week. He's got to take the same deal as Thiago Silva.
No way.
2 years. If he wants 2 years, he's got to take 100. He's got to take what Thiago Silva's done. Okay. But I believe it's 2 or 3 transfers in and a lot going out. That's what I believe this summer.
Yeah, I believe it as well. I think Tchouaméni is probably the bigger chancey, and we're going to try and break the bank for Haaland. I think Haaland's the number one choice.
Oh, without that.
And when you spend that much on Haaland, well, then you're going to spend even that large amount of 60, 70, 80 million on Declan Rice, which is what West Ham wants.
If you do that, you end up going near or very close to what we spent in a total last year.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Million, and I just don't think they would do that for 2 summers in a row.
Yeah,
and I think the Haaland deal is an out of business model transfer for this club.
It is.
And then the rest will be business model transfers for the club, like Tchouaméni and everything like that. So.
Absolutely right. Haaland is out of the box. It's just it's something that is. You can't fit it, as you said, in the business model because it's too insane to even think about. And then the live chat,
If he wants a get out clause, I want Chelsea to say fine, but it's £350 million. That's what I'm going to say. Or to say no, that's not how we do it. What else can we do? Do you know what I mean? Because we shouldn't have a get out clause for a player that's less than what we're going to pay for him.
You know, that whole get out of clause bothers me, man. Why are we talking about a get out of clause before the player even signed for us? Do you know what I mean? It just makes me think this player's not really interested to play for Chelsea for too long.
Listen. If we get that sorted out, I know. What was there was a guy from America. I can't remember his name. He was like, I'm a bit worried about people who come to the club like that.
Oh, Jake.
I'm sort of a mind that. Listen, I don't need him to be a fan of Chelsea. I don't need him to love the club. I need him to do his job on the pitch, and then he might learn to do all those other things like love the club and something like that. Like, I don't think Diego Costa ever loved Chelsea before he came to Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? But he did his job.
I don't think he even knew that much about Chelsea.
I don't think he knew. I think they just some English clubs activated my release clause.
Let's go.
That's it. Yeah. I've got Cesc Fabregas there and others there. Okay, I'll settle in. But yeah, I think it's easy to say be patient for any fan base, but I would just go along, enjoy the Euros, and I think then maybe we'll see some major movement after the Euros. I really do.
No, for sure, man. I hope Euros only one more week left, right? After this weekend, another weekend.
Yeah, July 11th is the final.
Yeah, man. I can't wait till this over so that we can actually start hearing some announcement. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a DM because Billy Gilmore's gone. So
yeah, we have to.
There's going to be something there for sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there'll be a backup keeper because Kepa, I can't imagine him being a second keeper again. He'll probably want to go. And then the striker situation. So something has to happen. I'll be very scared if we don't get a striker before the start of next season.
If we don't get a striker, every Chelsea fan can forget about talking about challenging for the title.
Oh, you can't.
It's about staying in the top four. The top four race. That's what it is. That's how important getting Haaland is. And I'm at the things that if we don't get Haaland or Lukaku, anyone else, I don't really. I think would be.
Well, Kane's not going to happen. Kane won't happen.
No, I never thought Kane was going to happen because don't leave it. But yeah, if we don't get Lukaku or Haaland, I mean, forget about Premier League title challenge. It's a top four battle from day one.
Yeah, and you know what? That would suck. I don't want a top four battle again. Do you know what I mean? I hate that stuff. Andrew, my man, thank you so much for your time. I'm bringing Umair next up. I hope to see you again on my channel, man. Thank you,
Thank you very much, Miz. Have a good day.
Take care, my man. Take care. All right. I'm going to bring in Umair, the last guest. Toby, you need to relax, my man. I need to put you on a bit of a timeout. I just can't have people absolutely thrash the live chat like that. Umair, my man, how you doing?
Hey, Miz. Good, thanks. How are you?
Good stuff. Before I start talking to you, live chat, literally we've got over 100 people logged on. Smash the like button. Get the likes up to at least 100 if you're enjoying it. Umair will be the last guest on the show. We've had a fantastic show where I've pretty much allowed the fans to come in and give your opinions because, we spend all our time sitting here and talking, and I want to hear from you guys as well. So it's perfect. I'm definitely going to have more of this very soon. Umair, how you feeling with the rivals making the moves like Varane and, Sancho and Grealish? I mean, you at all concerned about Chelsea's activities, or you're calm?
I think I'm a bit calm. Obviously, as a fan, it does it makes you feel anxious when you're not signing anyone. So, but I think we'll get there in the end.
Who do you think we will probably, from your intuition, who do you think we're probably going to get in this window?
Has to be a striker, definitely either Lukaku or Haaland. And
any preference from you as to who it is?
I think Haaland should be the preference just because of his age and profile. But yeah, if we can't get him, then I think Lukaku would be a great addition as well.
And do you feel something like Haaland? I mean, it is a complex deal. Do you think we could manage that before the start of the next season, which is probably about 5 weeks away?
Yeah, I know it is complex, but we don't know what's going on in the background. So I'm hoping it's progressing along, and hopefully we can pull it off. And I just have a feeling that it might not be as expensive as the reports say, like 160 or 170 million. I mean, Dortmund will lose a lot of money if they don't sell him now. So even if we pay like 50 million above his clause, that should be sensible thing to do for them.
Yeah, that's
and they are a
true.
second club, right? And I mean, in the end, they will make top four with the Tammy or Andre Silva or whoever, Isaac, whoever they get, because they're probably the second best team in Bundesliga. So, from business point of view, it makes sense if they do it.
Yeah, you're right. That particular point of view, the business sense that they shouldn't get too greedy, get whatever, get a bit more than 75, let's say 100 or 110, and then try and reinvest. But in regards to you saying that they're the second best, I don't know, man. Leipzig is there, Leverkusen is there.
But Leipzig has got a new coach. So let's see how they go on this year.
No,
might
absolutely,
take
man.
a bit of time to get back to the level that they were in the Nagelsmann.
I do like your point, how you said that Chelsea does their business discreetly behind the scene. Hopefully, we're thinking that nothing is happening, but maybe, hopefully, something is happening. There are journalists that are saying, Jan Forte, the Norwegian journalist, ex-footballer as well, saying that apparently Chelsea hasn't even started talking to Dortmund yet, and he's very close to the Haaland family. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if all of these journalists actually know the ins and outs of everything. I'm pretty sure they probably don't.
Yeah, conflicting reports, right? So someone is saying something and someone else is saying another thing. So
absolutely. Omer, if we don't get anyone though, I think DM is someone we're going to get, a defensive midfielder with Billy gone. But if we don't get a striker, how are you feeling for next season with all the other clubs strengthening?
We won't challenge for the title, that's for sure. And I think it will be a fight for top four again. Definitely.
I don't like this fighting for top four, man. Like, I feel like the top four thing should just be happening on a regular basis anyway. And then we should be really challenging for the title.
Exactly.
But yeah, you're right. If we don't get a striker, it is what it is. Who do you think? How many players do you think we're going to get in this window from your perspective before we end things up with your part over here?
I think we need at least 3. So striker, a DM, and I think a backup goalkeeper. I don't think Kepa would stay. Like, it's not right to have a 71 million goalkeeper sitting on the bench.
I don't think he's going to stay as well, man. I really don't think he's going to stay. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, you're right. DM, goalkeeper, and striker is probably what we need in this transfer window. But if we get a striker like Haaland, I think I'll be very happy, very, very happy. Exactly. If the rest don't actually fall into place. Omer, my man, thank you so much for your time. Honestly, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Brilliant. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end. But before I go, I want to address a few more last comments. This one here from Adrian Sheikh. Miz, last time Abramovich wanted a player was Havertz. Does this bode well for the Haaland transfer to occur? Look, Roman has not kept any secrets. Like, it's pretty much out there that Roman wants Haaland. So, generally what they say is if Roman wants someone, he generally gets them. He got Havertz, but this deal is very complex. So it's got a lot to do with Marina. Marina better be talking to Dortmund and their financial department and trying to do their level best to strike up a really good deal. It's got to work for Dortmund. It's got to work for, obviously, Erling Haaland and his agents like Mino Raiola, who'll be the toughest sort of nut to crack over here, because Mino Raiola is already talking about exit clause and whatnot. He's going to make it very complex, and that's where the issue is going to be. And then obviously Haaland's personal terms, what that does to Chelsea. So it's got to work from many different angles, man. So yeah, I understand that Abramovich wants Haaland, but it's not the same as him wanting, because Havertz is another fantastic talent. But I think a striker, you just can't get that level of striker at all anymore. I want to take a couple of more. Comments before I wrap things up. Flyers, it's really good to see you in the live chat, my man. Thank you heaps. All right, let's see what the Beautiful Game has to say. I think the 75 million release clause next summer is a bit of a myth, as BVB will get that figure, but the Haaland camp will get the same amount in wages. You're right. Even if it's 75 million next season, Haaland's agents and his camp will say, okay, well, that 75 million goes to Dortmund, but now you're going to have to pay another 75 million to us to reach the personal terms and agreement. So it just doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You either pay 150 million now and get him, or next season, literally, it's 75 million to Dortmund, and then any other club that wants to pay the remainder of the 75 million to the agents and the full setup that Haaland has. So you're not going to escape the money either way. A lot of people talk about, next season it'll be a lot cheaper. I don't think so. I think this player is going to be very, very expensive anyway. Last one. I do always appreciate Andrew's comments. This will be the last comment before we wrap things up. Andrew Liu, thank you so much for joining, my man. Love seeing you on the live chat. I'd be happy with no signings. Get rid of the needs time to settle excuse. Look, I mean, if we get no signings, I'm a bit worried that whether we can challenge in all fronts, Premier League, Champions League, Club World Cup, Super Cup, Domestic Cup. Like, it's just, we did a madness with the same group last season, but it's not gonna, I don't know whether it's gonna happen again. Do you know what I mean? You do need to freshen things up. And we saw last season where some of the issues which was in the striking department. When someone gets injured in the midfield, we have an issue. So we do need to address these things until the next season starts, because if we don't, you don't want someone like Thomas Tuchel to be in a situation where his job's on the line because we didn't address these sort of things. So that's what I'm worried about. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps us up. We had a fantastic time. Deals CFC is here. Jake is still, praising the channel and the stream. Thank you heaps. Tony Tone is here as well. Nice to see you, my man. So yeah, guys, we're going to wrap things up. As you go, please smash the like button. We'll still go over 90 people. Smash the like button. Let's get the likes up to at least 100 likes. Love getting at least 100 likes for a particular stream and a video. As I said, helps the channel out a lot, helps the video out a lot as well. So please smash the like button. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. The run for 6,000 is definitely on. So yeah, I'll probably have a stream tomorrow, approximately around UK 11 a.m. Around that sort of time zone. So do look out for that. And until next time, everyone, take care, and hopefully you have a very, very good day. See ya.